Hey, today's pantry meal in the jar is beef stroganoff, and we start out with 3 cups of wide noodles in a quart jar, and we are going to add 2/3 of a cup of dried milk. You can get that at Walmart, or I had some on my shelf. It was the Augustin Farms milk. So get those in our jars. Next up will be some spices. We'll start with 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And again, that's one I picked up on clearance, so I'm happy to use those when I can. I love finding good deals. So that was 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Next we'll need 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Get those in the jar. Next, we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper plus 1/8. Get those in our jars. Followed by salt. Of course, if you're following a special diet, you can adjust it to your needs, but it's 1/2 teaspoon plus 1/8. And then we'll need 1/8 teaspoon of basil and oregano. Next we'll need some paprika. That's 1/2 teaspoon plus 1/8. It doesn't call for onion, but I'm going to put in like a teaspoon of the minced onion because I like onions with my stroganoff. So make it your own, add what you want. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of gravy mix. And if you watch Donna over at Hoopy Homestead, she's making her own gravy mix today, where you could totally turn it into a beef gravy mix. So I think I'm going to be making those up for my pantry, because I go through gravy mixes quite a bit. It does call for 1/8 teaspoon of celery seed. I don't have that, so I'm omitting that. And then the last ingredient will be a tablespoon plus a teaspoon of cornstarch. It doesn't call for mushrooms, but I do have a little bit of extra room in the jar. So I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of dehydrated mushrooms. I had gotten them on sale. I dehydrated them, and I think it'll be a great addition. Maybe I'll just do it in the one, and we'll give it a little taste test. You could always add in mushrooms when you go to cook it up, but it calls for 1.5 pounds of beef. You could use ground beef. You could use round steak. You could use the Keystone beef. I've been picking these up at Walmart. Or if you have freeze-dried beef, that would be great too. So I'm going to seal up these jars, make sure the room is cleaned off, but that's it. Okay, I vacuum sealed it with my vacuum sealer, and it's all done. And when you go to cook it up, you would brown up the meat in a skillet, drain the fat, and then add 7 cups of water. You could add a small can of the sliced mushrooms if you like that, or fresh mushrooms. But you're going to bring it to a boil. Once you add this in, you bring it to a boil, and then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for 15 minutes. I would then remove the lid and allow it to thicken up just on a simmer. And then that's it. And serve it. And I think that'd be a really nice dinner to have on hand. You could give it as a gift. There's so many options for these jar meals. You can see I got more back here. So check them all out. Make sure you put the ring on the jar once it's been sealed, and then write on top of the lid your instructions so you won't forget and write down what it is in that jar. But I wanted to show you, I've shown this tip before, that if you use permanent marker on here, you just take a dry erase marker and you draw over that permanent marker and wipe it off. Of course, I'll have to do it again, but most of it came off already, so I thought that was a pretty good tip. So I hope you enjoy these. Okay, let's get this stroganoff cooking, and I'm gonna pour out my mix into my Dutch oven. Let's try and get this all out here. There we go. And I'm gonna start with, it calls for 7 cups of water, but I'm gonna start adding in 4 cups right now. Now I've got the 4 cups of water in there, and I'm gonna stop at that for now and just bring this to a boil, and let's see how much water it's gonna need. It's looking pretty good in there right now, but I will report back. It's been simmering for 15 minutes, and I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of water. I put in 4 cups of water versus the 7. And then I have already cooked up half a pound of ground beef from the local farm. So I'm going to get that in there and just warm it through. And Mom always used to put sour cream in her sauce for stroganoff, so I am going to add that in. And I think that'll cut down, it was very peppery at first, but I think the sour cream is going to be the right flavor that I'm looking for. Reminds me of my mom's. So we'll give this a heat through, and I will try and let you know. I think I made the right call. I added half a cup of sour cream, and this is beef stroganoff. It looks really good. The water, definitely play with it. I put in only half a cup of ground beef. That's enough. But you could totally put in 1.5 pounds of whatever meat you like. So let's give it a try. Oh yeah, good call. This is really good. It's definitely one of my favorite meals, and I'm so surprised I don't really cook it. So this will be a great addition to my pantry. So, yay!